Among Solomon's three powerhouses, the short figure in the middle finally spoke, his voice tinged with an unmistakable air of malice. The Fire Kirin pill is not easy to obtain. Of the three, the strongest was Lu Quan, who had already reached the rank of 9-star Do D, though it was unclear exactly how many rotations of power he had undergone. Next was Songli, a mid-8-star Do D, and Yang Wei, a late 8-star Do D. After Lu Quan finished speaking, his two companions nodded in agreement. However, the next moment, Songli spoke up as well. Third Master, though this pill may be difficult to acquire, we can always, he made a slicing gesture across his throat. Lu Quan grinned approvingly and nodded. Given the strength of their group, they could move with impunity anywhere they went. They were confident, knowing that most of the participants at the auction were merely 7-star or 8-star Do Dis, posing little threat to them. Still, we mustn't be careless. Don't forget, our main goal is to eliminate Elder Zhu. After these words, Lu Quan's gaze locked onto the pill on the crystal platform, his eyes filled with greed. Father, if we can acquire that pill, it would mean tremendous benefits for the Sun family. Sun Xiang said eagerly, his eyes burning with desire. Forget it. That pill is beyond our reach. Although our family is strong in many aspects, we lack a peak Do D level expert. That's the most pressing issue, Sun family's patriarch replied after some thought. Even though the Fire Kirin pill is extremely powerful, one must have the fortune to enjoy it. Sigh. Sun Xiang could only sigh in resignation. In room number 7, the two individuals who had previously won the bid for the Cauldron Triflower pupil sat quietly. They were from the 10,000 Poison sect, a group that shared a lineage with the Poison sect, cultivating poison Do Qi. However, they had long been oppressed by the Poison sect. Poison Elder, do you think we can get it? The young man known as Poison Young Master asked slowly. We'll see if we can snatch it, replied the elder, his gaze intensely focused on the prize, a flicker of desire flashing in his eyes. Meanwhile, in another private room, Tu Ling spoke with a serious tone. Master, should we try to obtain it? Our patriarch is currently in seclusion, attempting to break through to Do Xian. If we can get this pill? Tu Xingzhe chuckled, his meaning clear. Apart from them, many other factions had their sights set on the Fire Kirin pill. Let's get started already. Impatient voices could be heard from several rooms. Heh, since everyone's so eager, let's begin. However, before we start, let me remind everyone, Blood Rose the auctioneer said with a slight smile, her red lips curving enticingly. The Fire Kirin pill is extremely precious, as you all know. But keep in mind, anyone who can offer something like this surely has great power behind them. You'd better think it through. Hearing her words, the crowd fell silent for a moment, but their enthusiasm for the Fire Kirin pill remained undiminished. Due to the rarity and value of the Fire Kirin pill, it can't be priced with mere gold coins. The bidding rules will be the same as for the Azure Serpent Triflower pupil. Bid as high as you want. But, if you win, you must also agree to a condition from the seller. The condition will be within reasonable limits, Blood Rose added seductively, her voice dripping with allure. Even if I spent every last coin I own, I couldn't afford that thing, Xiao muttered, shaking his head in defeat. Hey, you youngsters, Elder Zhu chuckled. We're only here to broaden your horizons. There's nothing more for us here. Let's leave. As Elder Zhu spoke, he rose to his feet, preparing to depart. Xiao, that girl with the Cauldron Triflower pupil is so pitiful. Mu Yingying, who had been disinterested in most of the auction items, looked dejected as she mentioned the girl. Don't worry. Elder Zhu will handle it, Xiao comforted her. With that, the four of them quietly left the private room. The auction continued for quite some time. In the end, the much-anticipated Fire Kirin pill was sold to the Poison sect at an exorbitant price, marking the close of the event. In this auction, the Nine-Eyed Demon Worm and the Fire Kirin pill both fell into the hands of the Poison sect. As for the mysterious fragmented map, it was purchased by Xin Mu, the third prince of the Xinling royal family. The girl with the Cauldron Triflower pupil was bought by the 10,000 Poison sect. Other medicinal materials and pills were auctioned off as well, though they paled in comparison to the headline items. Elder Zhu, What should we do next? In a small inn, Elder Zhu sat with his eyes closed while Xiao Yin, Mu Yingying, and Mu Feng stood nearby. Heh, the items sold today are far too valuable to be taken lightly. According to the information I've gathered, the Poison Sect and the 10,000 Poisons Sect plan to leave tonight under the cover of darkness, Elder Zhu said calmly, his eyes gleaming with knowledge. However, we aren't the only ones interested in the Fire Kirin pill. Pill King Chen Xian from Pill Valley, Tu Xingzhe from the Tu family, and even members of the Xinling royal family are all preparing to make their move. Elder Zhu's voice was steady as he revealed this information. In that case, there's no time to lose. We should set out immediately. Mu Feng, knowing the incredible power of the Fire Kirin pill, spoke with urgency. Heh, no need to rush. We're waiting for a few more people, Elder Zhu said, unhurried. Waiting for someone? Xiao Yin frowned, sensing a familiar presence approaching from nearby. That seems to be... Xiao Yan's expression shifted as he recognized the aura. Big brother. A joyful voice echoed from the doorway. Little E? Xiao Yan exclaimed in surprise. Indeed, standing there was little E, clothed in white, her figure graceful yet completely shrouded in elegance. Xiao Yan noticed that her aura had undergone a noticeable transformation. Big brother, while you were away, under the guidance of Vice Hall Master Mu Shuzi, I broke through to the perfect 7-star Do D level. Little E, though always strikingly beautiful, scratched her head bashfully in front of Xiao Yin. Heh, that's great to hear. Xiao Yin smiled, proud of Little Yi's rapid progress. This young one had the fire spirit within him from the moment he entered my incense pavilion, Elder Zhu remarked with a smile, acknowledging Little Yi's unique identity but showing no ulterior motives. Humph, don't forget about me. A dissatisfied, teasing voice sounded from another corner. It was none other than Lu Di. Since all 5 of you are here, I'll give you your first mission. Venture into the desert region. Elder Zhu declared. Xiao Yin, you'll be in charge. If any of the 5 of you fail to return, I'll hold you accountable. Elder Zhu's voice grew firm as he addressed Xiao Yin. Yes, Elder Zhu. Xiao Yin responded with determination, his excitement rising. But before your desert mission, you must take part in tonight's operation. First, to see how well you work as a team. Second, to fight for the important items being contested tonight, whether it's the Fire Kirin pill or the Cauldron Triflower pupil. Elder Zhu explained. Once you leave Xinling City, head directly into the nearby forest. I'll be going elsewhere. Regardless of the outcome, after this mission, you are to head straight into the desert for your training. When it's over, return to Incense Pavilion. Remember, your lives are the most important thing, Elder Zhu said before flicking his fingers. Several black cloaks appeared in his hands. He donned one himself, covering his entire body. Following his lead, Xiao Yin and his team did the same. The strength of Xiao Yan's group was indeed impressive. Xiao Yin, perfect 4-star Do D. Mu Feng, early 5-star Do D. Mu Yingying, mid 5-star Do D. Lu Di, mid 5-star Do D. Little E, perfect 7-star Do D. While Little Yi's strength might have surprised many, Xiao Yan's companions were already well aware of her prowess, having seen her perform during the Inter-Academy points competition. Let's go. Once Elder Zhu saw that everyone was ready, he concealed his presence and swiftly moved towards the outskirts of Xinling City. The 6 of them melted into the shadows, though Lu Di's lips twitched slightly, as if she were worried about something. Outside Xinling City, within the Xinling royal family's base, a group of 11 individuals stood assembled, each of them possessing terrifying strength. Among them was the black-clad figure who had once pursued Xiao Yin within the 9-fish dragon array. The Xinling King was also present. This mission must succeed, no matter the cost. The Xinling King spoke in a low, steady voice, staring off into the distance. But let's set aside the Cauldron Triflower pupil for now. The Fire Kirin pill? One of the elders spoke reluctantly, his tone filled with regret. The power of the Fire Kirin pill was terrifying, and allowing it to fall into the hands of someone else felt like a great loss. Swoosh. If the Fire Kirin pill were truly as miraculous as the legends say, Do you think the owner would be willing to auction it off? The Xinling king chuckled. As the ruler of the Xinling royal family, he had long figured out the truth behind such treasures. Since that's the case, let's proceed. It's been a while since we've faced off against the Serpent Clan deep within the deadly desert. The elder at the head of the group, with his white hair and an air of unshakable confidence, spoke slowly. Move out. The Xinling king nodded. This mission's success heavily relied on the support of the Dragon Devourer Legion's commander, making it crucial for them to proceed carefully. With those words, the group of 11 stepped onto a teleportation formation. In the blink of an eye, they silently vanished from the Xinling royal palace, reappearing just outside Xinling city. Let's go. Our target is the temple deep within the deadly desert, the Xinling king declared, taking the lead as they moved forward. As the 11 figures disappeared into the distance, another confrontation was slowly brewing just outside Xinling city. Beyond the city lay vast forests, grasslands, and lakes. Master, will the poison sect really leave tonight under the cover of darkness? It would be foolish to be so bold. Two shadowy figures appeared on top of a towering tree, their auras so well concealed that one could easily overlook their presence without careful observation. These two were from the 10,000 Poisons sect. The first was Duya, the sect's prodigy and a mid-6-star Do-D. The other, his mentor, was none other than the fearsome Poison Elder, an almost perfect 8-star Do-D. I'm not entirely sure. Poison Elder's voice was hoarse and unsettling, as though something squirmed beneath his skin. But those two brats from the Poison sect won such a valuable item. They must be trying to escape the Xinling royal family's grasp as quickly as possible, and from the information I've gathered, they've already sent word back to the Poison sect. If we delay any longer, and the Poison sect's old monsters arrive, damn it! Duya cursed under his breath. What on earth did the Poison sect offer to get their hands on that fire Kirin pill? His gaze shifted back to the unconscious girl strapped to his back. She was the girl with the cauldron triflower pupil, whom the 10,000 Poisons sect had won at the auction. Though the young girl had fallen into a deep slumber, Duya knew that once her powers fully matured, her status and influence would drastically change. But in the end, she would still be consumed by him. A sinister grin crept across Duya's face, as if everything was unfolding according to his plan. Be careful. Someone's coming. Poison Elder's voice dropped to a whisper, sensing the strange smile on Duya's face. Despite his dissatisfaction with Duya, as the sect leader's son, Poison Elder had no choice but to protect him. Duya lowered his head slightly, gazing down at the figure below the tree. It was a young woman, her steps light as though she feared making any sound. She constantly glanced over her shoulder, her expression anxious and nervous. Is she from the Poison sect? Elsewhere, 5 shadowy figures were crouching beneath a massive boulder, watching the scene unfold. Upon closer inspection, these 5 were none other than Xiao Yin and his team. After parting ways with Elder Zhu outside Xinling City, Xiao Yin had led his group into the forest, using soul power to shield their presence from any outside detection. They silently observed the scene before them. What's going on here? Xiao Yin murmured as he fixed his gaze on the woman. For now, he refrained from using his soul power or spiritual power, wary of alerting the Poison sect members to his presence. Recklessly revealing himself could end in disaster. There's something off about her dochi. It feels unnatural, Xiao Yin commented quietly. Could it be because they cultivate poison-type dochi? Mu Feng speculated in a low voice. No, poison dochi doesn't feel like this, Lu Di said, her brows furrowing as she observed the woman. This feels more like the presence of an Imperial Realm soul clone. Good heavens! Xiao Yan's pupils contracted sharply. Soul power at the Imperial Realm. Aside from alchemists, most experts at this level only possess soul power at the Heavenly Realm. This woman was definitely no ordinary figure. That was Xiao Yan's first impression. Should we make a move now? Little Li whispered cautiously, worried about giving themselves away too soon. Hold on. When we first entered, I sensed there were others besides us in this forest. Let's wait and see, Xiao Yan replied, his tone shifting to one of curiosity. That aura. It feels a bit like the legendary azure serpent Triflower pupil, Lu Di remarked, somewhat astonished after extending her senses. We absolutely cannot let that girl fall into the hands of any evildoers. Mu Yingying interjected, her tone resolute. Master, I don't sense anyone else here. Opportunities are fleeting. Let's move. Duya ordered after scanning the area. Ugh, always making this old man do the heavy lifting. Poison Elder muttered as his skin rippled, releasing a swarm of black insects that disappeared into the trees. Moments later, they reappeared, dropping in front of the poison-sect woman, blocking her path. Damn it! The barefooted woman's lips moved slightly. I had a feeling it was you during the auction. I can't believe it's actually you, from the 10,000 Poison Sect. SSHH. Even though your Poison Sect is stronger than ours, you're alone here. Do you have the Fire Kirin pill and the Nining Demon Worm with you? Poison Elder stepped out from the shadows, his voice calm yet menacing as he blocked the narrow forest path. I don't have them, the woman replied with a faint smile. But your 10,000 Poison Sect is truly bold. If our sect master finds out about this, the wrath of our Poison Sect is not something your sect can withstand. Even though she was facing a formidable opponent, the woman remained calm, her eyes darting around as if contemplating her next move. They stood deep within a dense forest outside Xinling City, surrounded by towering trees that obscured visibility. If she needed to escape, using the forest's cover would be her best chance. With her mind made up, the barefoot woman's eyes flickered as she discreetly searched for an escape route. No need to bother. It's just me here, Poison Elder said, reading her intentions. But I alone am more than enough to handle you. Oh, is that so? The woman in the blue-green robes let out a teasing laugh, her aura surging as she revealed her true power. Mid-6-star Do-D. As the terrifying aura surged forth, the barefooted woman's jade-like hand swiftly lifted, and a streak of green Do-Chi materialized out of thin air. Without hesitation, she launched the attack directly at Poison Elder. The green Do-Chi ribbon was strange, as if it carried a hidden, malevolent power. The moment it appeared, the trees around the woman began to wither, their vitality rapidly fading. The green Do-Chi ribbon, laden with a deadly toxin, slashed viciously toward Poison Elder. Swish, swish. Pathetic. Poison Elder sneered, showing no sign of defense against the barefooted woman's 6-star Do-D level attack. Just as the green Do-Chi ribbon was about to strike him, Poison Elder's body, concealed beneath his black cloak, started to writhe unnervingly. In the next moment, tiny creatures began to pour out from under his cloak. Upon closer inspection, they were minuscule insects, emerging from his body and forming a natural barrier in front of him. With this barrier in place, the deadly green Do-Chi attack was neutralized effortlessly. From the Sun family? Poison Elder's tone held a hint of surprise. Even though the 10,000 Poison Sect resided in the desolate lands, rather than in the heart of the mystic three heavens under the Xinling royal family's rule, Poison Elder had long heard of the Sun family. The Sun family was reputed to be the Xinling royal family's elite guard. In a land filled with powerful experts, to be recognized as the royal family's protector meant that their strength was not to be underestimated. If the Sun family didn't have some hidden power, they wouldn't have maintained their current status within the Xinling royal family. Rumors persisted that the Sun family lacked high-level warriors, with their most powerful being the patriarch at the perfect 8-star Do-D level. However, no one could be sure if they had hidden forces waiting in the shadows. Stay out of this. Poison Elder growled coldly, clearly irritated. Though they were still on the outskirts of Xinling City, if they delayed any further, reinforcements from the Sun family could arrive at any moment. If that happened, not only would it be hard for him to escape with Duya, but the Cauldron Triflower pupil that he had worked so hard to acquire would also be in jeopardy. Fleeing at that point would be nearly impossible. Even though this is the outskirts of Xinling City, it's still within the jurisdiction of the Sun family. You'd better leave while you still can. A voice came from above as a large figure descended from the sky. With a loud thud, a massive black blade was thrust into the ground. Then, a towering man with a somewhat bulky figure appeared in front of Poison Elder. The man's blade was entirely pitch black, shaped like a triangle, with two sharp edges that gleamed menacingly. What was strange was that when the blade struck the ground, some kind of dark energy seemed to seep into the earth, though Poison Elder failed to notice it. This man was Sun Dalong, an elder of the Sun family and something of a living legend. Despite his young age, he had earned a place among the elders, which spoke volumes about his strength and talent. Sun Dalong's body was solid and muscular, radiating raw power. His gaze locked onto Poison Elder with a fierce intensity, and a barely suppressed aura of terror emanated from him. "So, the Sun family has shown up?" Poison Elder muttered. Both men were mid-8-star Do-D powerhouses. On top of that, Poison Elder had his plague source worms at his disposal, so he believed it was only a matter of time before he overcame the situation. However, high-level battles were unpredictable, and this confrontation was likely to drag on, especially with the close proximity to Xinling City. Poison Elder feared that more Sun family reinforcements might arrive. "Don't tell me you're falling for that woman's trap? She's clearly trying to provoke a fight between us so she can escape," Poison Elder said coldly, his voice laced with suspicion. Sun Dalong's strength was on par with his own. A battle between two mid-8-star Do-Dis could last a long time, and Poison Elder was wary that the Sun family might have other tricks up their sleeve. "You don't need to worry about me." Sun Dalong waved his hand, summoning a yellow beam of Do-Chi that shot out, instantly imprisoning the barefooted woman. "Let me go." The barefooted woman was caught off guard by the sudden attack and was quickly enveloped by the yellow light. The yellow Do-Chi beam completely encased the woman, sealing her within a barrier and isolating her from the outside world, preventing any chance of escape. Seeing herself trapped, the barefooted woman didn't panic. Instead, she kept her gaze fixed on the two men before her. "It seems she's indeed carrying something valuable," Sun Dalong mused, his mind racing. "We made the right choice." The other factions, Pill Valley, the Two family, even the Blood Blade mercenary group, must have chased after the other poison sect member. Though Sun Dalong appeared rough, his thoughts were meticulous, not missing a single detail. "Heh," Poison Elder scoffed. He was still frustrated that he hadn't detected Sun Dalong's presence earlier. "It didn't make sense. No need to feel down. I have ways to conceal my aura. Given your strength, it's no surprise you couldn't sense me." Sun Dalong smirked. "But now that we're alone, hand over the Cauldron Triflower pupil, and I'll let you die with a whole body." "Ha ha ha. Dream on." Poison Elder snarled, disgusted by Sun Dalong's greed. "Aren't you afraid you'll bite off more than you can chew?" "That's none of your concern," Sun Dalong replied as he effortlessly pulled his giant blade from the ground. "I gave you a chance to leave, but now, you'll stay here forever." Sun Dalong roared, his pitch-black blade suddenly turning blood red. "So, you're the infamous Blood Blade," Poison Elder muttered to himself, realizing what was happening. There had long been rumors about a terrifying figure known as the Blood Blade residing within Xinling City. As the term suggests, the Blood Blade technique involves channeling one's own blood energy into Do-Chi or attacks, greatly amplifying their power. Though Sun Dalong was only a mid-8-star Do-D, once he activated the Blood Blade state, his strength could rival even a perfect 8-star Do-D. "Take this," Sun Dalong roared as he swung his massive blood-red blade with both hands, slashing horizontally toward Poison Elder. As the blade lifted, dark energy seemed to pulse beneath the ground, subtly shifting and spreading. Swish, swish. The blood-red blade crashed down, carving a pit dozens of feet deep into the ground where Poison Elder had stood. Residual red Do-Chi lingered in the pit, radiating a menacing energy that made one's hair stand on end. Cough, cough. Poison Elder hacked violently. Though he had narrowly dodged Sun Dalong's attack, he couldn't shake a strange sensation. Despite the terrifying power of the slash, its speed had been surprisingly slow, something Poison Elder should have easily evaded. Yet, the moment Sun Dalong's attack came down, Poison Elder had felt a sticky force clinging to him, slowing him down. "Again!" Sun Dalong shouted, lifting his blood-red blade once more and quickly closing the distance, preparing for another strike. "Damn it! What the hell is this?" Poison Elder cursed angrily. Ever since Sun Dalong's blade had turned blood red, it was as if his movements had been completely predicted. No matter where he ran, Sun Dalong always seemed to know where he would be, as if his actions were an open book. That old fool is clearly missing something, Lu Di observed from beneath a large rock, her sharp eyes discerning the truth behind the situation. The reason Sun Dalong could anticipate Poison Elder's movements was because of his blade. More specifically, the dark energy that had been subtly spreading under the cover of night. Swish, swish. The barefoot woman's green Do-Chi whip viciously struck at Poison Elder's mysterious swarm of insects, creating a sharp, ear-piercing sound. Despite the violent impact, the insects barely flinched, and the woman's poisonous Do-Chi whip dissipated instantly. These insects aren't ordinary. They devoured the 6-star Do-Di's poisonous Do-Chi attack without any effort. Xiao Yin remarked thoughtfully from behind the rock. Even he, with all his experience, was surprised by such a terrifying display. The poison insects raised by that old monster from the 10,000 Poison sect are truly horrifying, Mu Feng murmured. Though the barefoot woman was a formidable 6-star Do-Di, her attack had been completely neutralized by Poison Elder, clearly demonstrating the vast gap in strength between them. Those insects, they seemed to be the legendary plague source worms from the 10,000 Poison sect. Lu Di's eyes remained fixed on the swarm of tiny insects before Poison Elder. Among Xiao Yan's team, when it came to dealing with poisons, Lu Di was the most experienced. After all, as a member of the Medusa Serpent clan, her understanding of poisons was ingrained in her very being. Plague source worms? Xiao Yan asked, curious. Yes. In ancient times, these worms were incredibly rare, Lu Di explained, her tone growing more serious. Their rarity stemmed from the fact that their food source was so limited, making it nearly impossible for their species to thrive. But the plague source worms are infamous. It's said that in ancient times, a poison master who had reached the 9-star Do-Di level used them to single-handedly destroy a sect protected by 2 Do-Xian experts. Although that poison master's strength as a 9-star Do-Di wasn't particularly impressive, he managed to wipe out an entire sect using the power of the plague source worms alone. From then on, the worms gained their terrifying reputation. Lu Di's expression grew grim as she spoke, clearly unsettled by the presence of such a dangerous creature. And the most terrifying aspect of the plague source worms is that they are nearly impossible to defend against, she continued. They can bypass both Do-Chi and soul power defenses. Once they enter the body, it's a nightmare to deal with. Even I don't know how to expel them, Lu Di admitted, her tone filled with caution. Everyone, be careful. Xiao Yan's expression turned serious after hearing this, and he increased the soul power shielding their group. There seems to be someone else. Just as Xiao Yan finished fortifying their defenses, his eyes caught sight of something unexpected. In the branches of a towering tree not far away, a shadowy figure appeared, with what looked like an unconscious girl next to them. The Poison Sect woman had only intended to test Poison Elder's strength, but hadn't expected him to bring out such a horrifying weapon. The plague source worms. These worms were considered the apex of poisonous creatures, famously known as the undefeatable poison. Even in the pitch-black darkness of the night, the barefoot woman could sense just how many of these terrifying creatures Poison Elder had at his command. At least in the thousands. Damn it, she muttered, her eyes growing deeper and more focused. Clearly, Poison Elder's strength was at least at the 7-star Do-Di level, if not higher. Little girl, you'd better surrender, Poison Elder said, clearly wanting to wrap things up quickly before the situation escalated. The barefoot woman let out a strange laugh. Heh, you're all so eager for the 9 demon worm and the fire Kirin pill, aren't you? Poison Elder was caught off guard, but in that instant, he suddenly realized something. The 10,000 Poison sect, huh? But you're at the outskirts of Xinling City. You should leave before it's too late, a rough voice interrupted from above. An 8-star Do-Di? Poison Elder, with his sharp instincts, immediately recognized the newcomer's strength just from their voice. Sun Dalong of the Sun family, the voice said just as a massive blade descended from the sky, followed by the appearance of a large figure.